7, 8. Okay, here is 6-1 part 2, the first video for that one. They're talking about special right triangles that have the special measurements of 45, 45, 90. That's going to be an isosceles right triangle, or the more special one, a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which this one is going to be 30 degrees and this one is going to be 60 degrees. We'll talk about how to find all the side lengths in those ratios first. But first we're going to do a quick review on how to handle some multiply, divide, and simplify radicals. Okay, really quickly and easily, if you're taking just a constant times a radical, then they don't combine. It's just 6 rad 2. It's not rad 12. That's a mistake. Constant times a radical, they stay separate. But if you are multiplying a number like this, 7 rad 2 times rad 2, it's radical times radical. So remember, the product property says I can multiply those two radicands. This becomes 7 rad 4. But wait a second, what is the square root of 4? That's 2. So 7 times 2 is 14. Let's see the same thing here. What's rad 3 times rad 3? Isn't that 4 times rad 9? But wait a second, what is the square root of 9? It's 3. So that's going to equal 12. Okay, so that's how you multiply. You hopefully you remember what's called rationalize the denominator if you're dividing by a radical. That way we can express this in simplest form. You have to rationalize, which is multiply by the fraction 1. But what does the fraction 1 look like? It looks like the denominator. So when I multiply across here, I get 8 rad 2. And then rad 2 times rad 2 is the square root of 4, which is 2. And then you simplify this fraction. 8 divided by 2 is just 4. So you're going to have to do that all the time when you're simplifying these answers for Pearson. Same thing's going to happen here. So multiply by the fraction 1. It's a fancy form of 1. It looks like the denominator. 18 rad 3 over 3, which is just 6 rad 3. Okay? Let's remind you again how to simplify in case you come across that. You're looking for the largest perfect square that goes into that. For this one, it's going to be 4 times 3, right? The square root of 4 is 2. You see how that perfect square jumps out? What's the largest perfect square that goes into 80? Well, in this case, it's going to be 16 times 5. And we're still taking the square root. Just the square root of 16, it happens once. You only have to take the square root one time. This becomes 4 rad 5. How about what's the largest perfect square that goes into 50? In this case, it's 25. Take the square root. What's the square root of 25? That becomes 5 rad 2. Okay, that's the end of this video.